Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. Well, what are we doing now? This is not part of the Total Redraw series of videos, but it is a derivative or based upon its models that I've actually created. I've got this one, which is the base upon which we will look at the other two. There's actually a third one, which logically I should have included in the total redraw, but I didn't. But I'll include it in this particular video. So this is where we kind of left off, with some of the struts being altered. Take the hubs, top and bottom hub with a tube, what would you say, a reinforcement piece in there, but quite a strong combination. They can be independent of each other, the three parts. So they could be like that. They could be welded, bolted together, whichever way you go. If you want to make a heavier version, you can just increase the thickness of the plates, or as I suggested in one video, you could double plate this point here and have a single plate up here. You could have nothing up here, no tube, and just a double plate down the bottom, or you could have a single plate that's made out of thicker steel. So, in short order, you could alter the capability of this hub very easily and make for a very capable structure upon which to make your domes. Ditto for when I would use the steel tube and the threaded rods. It's very, very viable and very flexible, so that you could alter the dimensions of your items being used to cater for bigger structures. The structure is not small, but it is, after all, only 6 by 6 meters. Now, for a dome of this size, not size, but capability, I think you could go a little bit bigger and not have to change anything, because we've got it already inbuilt. So 7 by 7, 8 by 8, whatever, keep on going. I think this would be quite capable of fulfilling the requirements. Make these timbers heavier? Yes. Probably have to start thinking about how they hold up on their own. If they're skinned, i.e. have got plywood or anything on the surfaces, then with the ply, it certainly would stabilise the timbers from, how would you say, not sagging, but from moving under their own weight, because of the span. So it may be that you want to go thicker than, as I've got here, 50 millimeters, maybe a little bit deeper, depending. Yeah. But even this dome is probably a little bit overbuilt. You could get away with the 90 by 50 by 100. It's more than doable. So yeah, there's that is the base. We then can stretch it. As we see a lot of the dome pictures, you can alter it just by separating along the logical divisions that is part of the quad-based or grid-based system of drawing this dome. Normally, you could divide it through this line as well, but because I've altered it to rationalise the struts for this point here, you can now no longer stretch it at that point smoothly. Still can do it, it just becomes a little bit more involved. But yeah, certainly doable, but just not as good. And that was one of the things that I did look at, whether I would permit my design to have this alteration, and for the longest time I resisted that. But I thought, the reality is that if people are going to butt these structures up to another structure, that would be even more rare than the times that people would want to build this dome anyway. So it's up to the individual whether they want to do this. I like the idea of having the struts identical, evenly spaced between these struts here, and sideways, of course, but others may not. Nonetheless, I'm not worried about that. So I'm just concentrating here, and I've looked at which hub needs changing. Of course, it's obvious, but it also impacts on how the struts and hubs act together. This is still in plane for the surfaces, which does make a little bit of a issue here. We'd have to lift the hubs up a little bit if we wanted it to butt up against the strut here, as we would normally think necessary. But and if you haven't been following these videos and you're coming to this one fresh, well, you would have to probably go back and look at the other videos. But you can either lift and lower the struts up to match the hub, and that would be more permissible or quite logical to do if you were putting a membrane over this dome. If, however, you are considering putting a rigid cladding on it, it may be that you want to keep the surfaces in their geometrically correct position, so that allows you to create the dihedral angles onto which you can then fix your rigid cladding, i.e. plywood or the exterior grade chipboards. So that's the consideration there for that hub. All it was that you don't bend that tab down like you would in all the other ones, of course. That comes straight out from the plate. It is rotated around a little bit because, after all, it's not the same strut just lifted up as would be in the dome. Again, this one here is identical except for this tab here. It is just rotated round and not bent down. And of course it would have its corresponding one below it. And of course the top one. And I've shown, in this case, I've only done the 3 hubs, one's necessary. And I've shown here that this tab has been altered from the original design. So not hard to do at all. It's no harder to do than the whole dome. Like the dome that we had before, just as a dome. But in short order, and this is only about 1,500 or 1.5 metres long, but it certainly makes a difference to the function of the dome, as to cover an area. So instead of 6 by 6, it's now 6 by 7.5. So yeah, that's a significant difference, and it certainly looks different. The other one in the background is the same base dome as we start off with, but we lift, and I haven't really done much development on this, but we can lift the top part, and I suggest we'd keep that now no longer transparent, with glass or anything. You could. There's no reason why you can't, but perhaps this becomes more of a opaque structure, and depending on how high we lift things up, we could well put a translucent perimeter underneath, the bit that gets lifted up. Haven't developed this. It was just an idea. I've seen it in another dome, and I thought, I'll see what's involved for us to do it here. Not much happens here. We can delete a tab at this point. No difficulty doing that. And then we can lift the centerpieces up. Yes, up, and of course that would go with it. That would stay identical, and we just extend what we're going to call rafters, I suppose, but these struts we just extend out so that it gives a wee bit of an overhang. Of course, we'd waterproof along the surfaces up the now vertical timbers, up and over, and then we can put our glazing around the perimeter if we deem that necessary. So that's pretty straightforward. Right, what's that doing? Let's see. Right, now what we can do is I'm going to move this one across 20 metres. I obviously didn't capture everything, so let's not do that. Move across 20 metres. One of the things that I've shown here is the dome to function nicely in the entrance area, is that I've always set a criteria for this that the point here that I'm circling now needs to be about 1.8 metres off the ground. 1.8 metres is, I'm not going to say that is the average height for an adult male, but it's probably the average height of an average male. So you could walk up to and near this area here without smacking your head or fear of smacking your head. Now, I know a few people that are a bit taller than that, so therefore they would want to walk through here, or we just have to lift everything up. What I have shown is that the dome, nothing changes, the whole dome gets lifted up, and it rests on some pedestals or piers bolted down to that. We keep this dead standard, and, well, it becomes a very normal structure. We don't have to alter anything. However, one thing that may be beneficial is to, and I'm not going to probably do too much, but it's just an indicator. I'll probably make a model up at some stage, is keep the, how would you say, I'm going to hide those. Keep it looking like a dome by simply making the struts come down to this point here. Rather than the being lifted up, keep the struts at ground level. There's a couple of advantages in that. Pretty straightforward. It's probably simpler rather than having a pedestal or pier sticking up out of the ground. Maybe easier. There is a little bit of alteration required on the hub, and that's why I'm not really worried about doing the modelling just now, because it's a little bit involved to change that. Not hard, it's just don't want to do it right now. But that would mean that these two tabs, or she's just one, but the tab on the plate would have to rotate slightly and be bent down a little bit more. Let's just hide that and put a line from there and up to there, across, and that creates the surface that we could use as the leg, generate some of the information for creating all the changes to the leg. It changes the angle between this triangle and this new leg triangle, which gives it a wee bit more dihedral angle, which is a good thing. I think it actually makes, I'm going to say, makes the dome a little bit stronger. Not probably a good way of wording it, but hey, I'm not that worried about it either. The strut length, as per the design of, the honeycomb here that we refer to, is 2121. At this point here, it's probably another, it's just over 300 mils longer. So nothing untoward there, is there? So, but that's certainly something that could be considered, and you'd probably wind up looking at it and going, well, I think that's actually better. Well, you may well do. So there's the, there's that option. Just like, I've already grouped it, so I'll delete that. But that certainly is something that I should have included in the redraw. It is a good design option, because after all, if we're going to change the dome from a dome to this, where we change the actual base from the grid, I know, getting a bit woolly now. If we've adjusted this, why can't we adjust the triangle that comes down and be more normal-like? So that certainly is a consideration. I might do a little bit of work on that, have it as an extra model, mainly because of I'm interested in it, and I know that, and I've said this before, this particular style of dome is a niche within a niche within a niche. And I think it's more for the dome builder that's not biased, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, but not biased towards the, air quote, normal style of dome that we get used of. But when you start looking at some of these other domes that are made, you think, ooh, they are quite complicated. The zomes and the alternate version to it's because you've got the conventional and then you've got the alternate dome types. All very doable. Do you want to do that? Well, you've got to get your head around the change. Once you do, you're happy. Ditto with this. Why on earth would I want to go rectangular when I could stay with the normal hexagon? Well, that's also true. This shape is probably not as viable for a stretch over membrane because the two triangles here form a concave orientation to each other. So that's probably not a good thing there, unless it's tied down and I can just see this always wanting to lift up off of the surfaces. It is, however, a good way of building, well, an alternative way of building. If you're putting the hard surfaces on here, it becomes irrelevant. Waterproofing, etc., irrelevant because you're going to be doing it to the other surfaces anyway. So the fact that it's concave, it's irrelevant. So, yeah, it actually forms a little bit of a gutter and directs the water somewhat away from the opening. So, yeah. The other alternative, which I've looked at ages ago and haven't for this, not certain why I haven't, probably because I didn't think it was really going to be beneficial, is can you carry on the shapes to infill the dome that isn't restricted by the fact that I've got a flat plane for the opening? And the answer is yes, you can do that, but they become quite odd shaped. But I will look at that just for the sake of thoroughness, for no other reason probably, and I will create the video if I think it's beneficial or at least of some interest to show that and reflect that idea. So then it becomes more conventionally dome shaped. Whether the rectangle version is going to be helpful or a hindrance, I don't know. So that's why I'll do it, because it may well be that that's what you or I want, or that niche within a niche within a niche. Yes. What I'm saying there is most people would still probably prefer the pentagon and hexagon type of dome. Probably prefer the full complete dome that comes right down to the right down to the ground on completely. Probably even if they went with quad, they probably still stay with the hexagon if they go. So you can see that every time I make a change, it becomes probably quite. The demographic becomes smaller. I personally think this is quite a good design. Others probably think it's not. So, can't do much about that. Rightio, well that's it. I'm going to wander off, leave you alone, and I'll go and do some work outside. How's that for an idea? Rightio, I'll see you later now. Bye.